I said all you gotta do is live your truth. Nothing else matters.
That's right.
So yeah.
Ooh, let's start with that.
What?
Live your truth.
Live your
truth.
Else. What does that mean? Let's talk about that. Let's get down to some detail.
Yeah. That's actually,
Well.
that's I put that on my Instagram.
Owning your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's live your truth.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is
Live
it?
your truth.
What does it say?
It says live your truth.
Uh-huh.
No one else's life is like yours.
So you're pretty much saying you're an individual and you have to be exactly who you are.
You have to be exactly who you are. Key and I are half British.
Well,
today.
sort of. We keep flowing in and out of things
Been
because
going back and forth between African and British and also Australian.
it just feels just a little better here because it's like I could dance with it.
You know, if we become famous off of British accents, we have to continue.
We have to keep it.
Accents, yeah.
But what if I don't want it anymore? Kind of want to get rid of
So
it.
look, no one wants a regular black guy. They want a British black guy.
Oh, is that Idris Elba? That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's pretty hot.
Are we recording?
I've been recording for a little while now, so.
I love it.
I tend to do that to you, yeah?
Yeah.
I tend to bring you on.
Sneak.
It's called a sneak. Yeah, it's like a
Sneak.
sneak segue is what I want to call it. It's just like catch the randomness before we get into our joy just a little bit.
Actually makes it better. So Lola has come.
No, actually, you have to say hello first.
Hello, world.
Hey,
we are
OG.
live 216
Yes, we are.
with the OG.
Hey OG.
Hey, OG.
Hey OG.
And Key.
Hey, what's up? That's me.
Alright, so we're going to try to go back and forth between British accents today, but I'm kind of digging it. I'm digging it.
Well, we can let it go now. I just had to touch it one more
Oh
time.
my gosh, I love it so much.
Me too. You and your extra 5.
Yeah.
Here's the extra 5 inches that we're not talking about. We possibly could discuss it later. But
Discuss it, put it slowly.
you would have to put it in slowly because it seems like that would be quite an issue.
So,
Just a bit
we're excited
extra.
today.
Yes.
We're very excited today. Talk
Yeah.
about an extra 5, we've got an extra
10. She's a 10.
10. She's
Boom.
10.
Facts.
Alright,
Mhm.
guys, ladies, Lola. We've got Lola in the house.
Lola.
Yeah.
Lolo.
Lolo. Lolo the killer.
Sorry.
You gonna say- Lola.
Everybody wants me to be Lola so badly.
Yeah. Lola's the bunny.
Yeah.
We just add an extra O at the end.
Yeah.
Lolo.
Lola's the bunny.
And sometimes you
Lolo's
call
the
Lola.
honey.
Yeah. Lolo riding in my Lolo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you catch me? Lola, bunny. Lolo, honey.
Lolo honey. Ooh, I like Lolo honey.
I'm just,
Do
yeah.
you have a
I like honey.
something
I like honey too.
I like good honey.
Honey's the only thing that doesn't go bad. You feel me?
I know, right?
You can keep
And it's a great antibacterial for your skin.
See, she's so
Really?
good. She ain't going
You
bad.
bathe in honey. Is that something that's
Probably her spirit. That's what her spirit
Yeah.
says to me. Yeah.
My
Ooh.
spirit, yeah, my spirit.
Like a spiritual honey scrub.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm into it. I love honey.
That tastes good.
I mean, we could talk about honey.
We could, but
Stuff on honey. So Lola,
hello.
I am so happy to have you on the show today. You're our first official guest.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
so exciting.
Yeah, we're trying to start off with a bang.
That is
We
so
should.
exciting.
I'm working on it. We're building.
Yeah. You
Yes.
have a little pause thing in it right there, so it'll light up when people.
Yes.
So you are official, our first guest.
Yes.
I'm honored.
So are we.
I'm very honored.
Yeah. This is really cool for us.
Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Explain a little bit about who you are, what you
And then we'll
Man,
get.
that's kind of a loaded question.
It is.
Yeah, like, little, can we just talk?
I think he did it on purpose because he knows
He
you wear a
did.
bunch of hats.
do. Yeah.
So
So here's the thing is,
It's a loaded question. It's a good, here, one word, artist. I'm an
Ooh,
artist.
boom.
Everything
How about
that I
you're
do.
creative?
I'm a creative.
Mm.
I'm a creative. Everything I set my mind to, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we started off with a little live your truth, you know,
Yes.
own your shit, right? So I'd like to touch that a little bit. So
Start us off.
this is really cool for me because like at maybe the last 7 days, this is perfect. This is so amazing for me because like it's happening in real time, like in my head. So 7 days ago, I had a reading by a seer, right? Which is super scary for me because usually I'm just like, hey, no thanks, like, ha, cool, all right. But it just so happened that, you know, like homegirl, like somebody I'm soul tied with, you feel me, from high school has been doing this forever. Like her family, like I call her family spooky because like they just sometimes they're a bunch of gypsies, like they get there, like they be gone. So she was here just and like did a reading, and when I tell you it called out insecurities that I was not aware of, like, well, that I couldn't articulate, right? Like I knew they were there, but I could not articulate them. So from that moment, which was last week on a Wednesday, like, yo, I feel crazy. It might have, yeah, Wednesday or Thursday, one of those. But like, I feel crazy good, as in like moving forward, like seeking peace, like living in my truth. Because, so I'll give you an example of like the one that stood out to me the most was I was told from a very young age that like editing and redacting who you are isn't really a bad thing because it's a necessity, right? So like to get into the right circles, you can't say certain things. In order to get the right job, you can't do certain things. In order to, you know, get to the right places, you can't put the wrong things out, right? So some of the wrong things are like cussing on social media, you know, pictures with a drink in it, you know, things like that. Like, you know, pictures with too many women, like all these kind of things. So like my entire life from like being little, I've done this thing, like this redacting or editing thing, no matter if I'm like posting or I'm in certain situations. And to be honest with you, it worked for what it was necessary for. So like, I think it was taught to me for the time being to keep me safe, you know, because sometimes what I look like is offsetting to some people in some circles for where I thought I wanted to go, right? So now as a business owner, I realized that.
How long have you been in business for?
So we've been here for 2 years, and then we were doing personal training, like in-home personal training, forever long. So like maybe 4 years before that. So like we've been doing training things since I was like 19. So yeah, so I've been doing that for a while. But so now that as a business owner and sort of doing my own thing, it sort of got called out like there are no actual rules. Like, especially not the ones that you created, like in your head. Right. So like, who am I editing for? Because I find myself still, you know, well before, like I won't put out 100% of who I am on, you know, my social media. I'll just put out a little bit here and there, and I'll try not to be too open or, you know, like I'm super goofy. I say shit. I love country music and I love rap music, like all in the same bubble. You know, bubble, yeah, and I do ballet, like all these things. All these things make me who I am, right? But like, I'd edit my posts so that I'm thinking, hey, I'm attracting the client that I, you know, want to sort of propel the business.
So basically, you're saying I'm very self-aware about myself and how I might come across, but if I do that, I can edit myself because I'm willing to do that to garner or build the right relationships with the right people. Right. I need to at least. For them to not judge me so harshly from the outside looking on in.
Right, but I don't like it.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel you on that. I feel
Time
you
out.
on that.
Who's that?
Is somebody here?
Someone here?
Hello. And with that, you probably shout out where you are. So
we're right now
in Lux Fitness.
Lux Fitness. Right down the hall is Renew.
Yeah, right
Wellness
down the hall.
with Lolo.
Yeah. So
come get your massage and skincare
do that.
and healing on.
Do that.
She's glowing.
Yeah. Always. Okay, so I do not like that, right? Because the people who know me, the people who have come into the space, the people who have done like business with me or like worked with me love me for exactly who I am, right? So when clients come in, before they come in, they might hear me playing country music before I change to the playlist that they want, or you know, they might, you know, see me dancing around and doing these kind of things, and those are the people who drive my business, and they love me for who I am. But for some reason, I edit for people who don't support me. That's right. So that was my issue. But I've had this issue for a while, but I had not addressed it because it's never been called out. I couldn't articulate it, right? So it's really freeing, or at least for the last 7 days or so, to be able to. I don't want to edit myself. I don't want to have to, right? So I want to live my whole truth. And like I used to say things like, man, I should be a sponsored athlete by now, or some business should be supporting me, like having my back as a personality and all these different things. And I used to just like feel so bad about it, like why don't they, want me? And it's so good. So my perspective now is thank God that they didn't support me then, because I'd have to stay within that 75% of who I was, who they liked, instead of somebody who loves, right? Instead
This
of
is such a good conversation.
right. So instead of the 100% who I really want them to fall in love with, right? Like I want them to know that I'm goofy. I like ballet as much as I like cartoons, and as much as I like football, and as much as I like whiskey. You know what I'm saying? Like all those things, like are a part of my life
And from
all the
time to time, I just want my bowl of fruity pebbles.
That's it. That's it.
Exactly.
So like that. So that realization and like that call out was so cool for me, because it was like, how dare you?
This I don't want to name her a psychic. She's not a psychic.
So she's considered a seer, I would say. A seer, as in like.
She revealed this to you?
Yes. So she pulled some cards, and like one card fell out. So this is how it started, because we weren't doing this at all. We were just like chopping it up or whatever. And like it just sort of, boom, there it is. Right? There's a card, and she's doing the readings or whatever, and I'm watching, and like, and it just keeps pulling, and you're just like, and I don't. This is spooky to me, so I'm really pushing this away. And like I just found myself, clearing space, like mentally, to hear what she was saying, and she started breaking it down, and she broke it down in football, and she don't know football.
Yeah.
She does not know football. So like,
a divine
so it was spooky for me, because it's like, what? And she's like, I have no idea what it like. Yeah. So
pretty much.
So
like foreign language.
divine messages
like-
from the universe.
like for
Those
real.
are actual messages.
like, for real. So like when I was sitting there in like, at first I was like, everybody wants to say this, like, be right, live your truth, blah, 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 blah. But like those were not the words. The words are like, yo, you've been taught rules. The rules are like a binding thing, like it's a foundation, like it's a foundational thing. This isn't just some like random rule. Like this is a thing that you've been holding on to for a long time, that in order to move forward, like in her thing is, she doesn't tell you what to do. She just says, this is what I'm seeing. Either you can agree, you don't agree, whatever. That doesn't bother me. Like it's not for me. Like this is just
They're being used as a tool to get the message delivered.
you.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was basically a conduit at that time.
Yeah.
You.
I think our life experiences, we go into life experiences dealing, you don't have to go to psychics in order to deal with things that are happening. Things are happening every day.
Yeah.
And they're being channeled by our thoughts or our desires or our wants or our needs or whatever have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
I struggle with that too.
That was a lesson.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come on. I want to
So-
hear a little bit. We're good?
I'm
Sorry, one second.
Again, going to my age. This is just telling my age.
What's wrong with your age? Celebrate that.
I love my age.
How old are you?
I'm 38.
That's awesome.
So I grew up in an era where it wasn't. We didn't go around taking pictures of ourselves.
Right.
I was never that. I used to get people who said all the time, "Ron, man, you're a pretty boy. You're good. This. But in my mind, I don't carry myself like that.
Yeah.
Like I didn't carry myself walking around with the pretty guys and dressing fashionably and doing stuff and just kind of just so in love with myself, which is almost it can hinder you a little bit
Yes.
in a way. So like what you said, Key, I have a vast array of things that I like that, according to the world, don't fit together. Classical music. I can listen to some classical
Me
music.
too.
You
I put that on my massage room
Yeah.
a lot at times, along with the new age spiritual stuff, and it
Yeah.
really does. I feel like sometimes I'm really massaging a symphony in your soul.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Woo.
And you
A
get some-
symphony on your soul.
That's a
Yeah.
And it's
That's
so
a
beautiful
bar.
That's
in
in
my
notes.
flow. And
Yeah.
my flow is real deep. It goes it's like the waves, it's like the ocean. I think that's why my room came together the way it did. Just
You guys got a bit of a room
those
too,
deep
it's-
waters
Yeah.
and getting
Like-
real deep. Isn't that
Yeah.
nice?
I love it. But yeah, so I have a vast array of things, and they don't all agree by society standards with each other. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, you're a black guy, from the inner city, and you like this.
Mhm.
And that's one of the reasons when it came, especially with this, with the new age, you got the iPhones, you got things, and it's almost like you can cast yourself on your own stage if you just open up
Mm-hmm.
and are
So
and
true.
are unapologetically you, and just allow yourself to be you. And I think because of
That's
social
true.
media and because of the way the world is in society, you have to fit in a certain category. You just, and you edit yourself. You end up editing yourself.
For sure.
Because you're like, oh man, you know what? I don't want to talk in that tone. I'm shooting for this type of audience. This type of people are like
Yeah.
me. So I got to kind of put myself in this box that they can relate to, that they can buy. But you know that's not genuinely you. You don't tell everybody that you like to ride around and listen to Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's me.
Yeah.
I got a whole playlist just of stuff that's like, an ex told me before, you listen to that crazy white music. I do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I can listen to some old school rap. I can listen to some Project Pat. I can listen to some, shout out to 3-6 Mafia, Juicy J.
Yeah.
I can listen to that. And I have a vast array of things that I like to do, but because I am who I am, and I'm getting over this. Maybe if I got my cards read, I would probably break out and say, you know what? I'm just going to do it. But
I could put you on.
Hearing you say this, it's like, you know what? The reason why, if you follow me on Instagram, you don't see many pictures of me or videos of me talking about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I commend people who do that because it's a certain level of comfort that you have to have.
I
You
said
know,
the same thing.
when you are doing it by yourself. If someone came into when people say, are you afraid of the camera? I tell you no. Because if you came into a room and said, okay, Ron, we want you to do this, boom, 3, 2, 1, action. I'm good with it.
Right.
But it's something else when you are letting your guards down with your own self.
Mm-hmm.
Putting the phone up because you know you got the spirit that you want to create something. And you make your own thing and you say, hey, what's up, girl? This, blah, 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 blah. That's another level. It is for me at least, it's another level. It's easy for me to do something in front of a staged audience and somebody says 3, 2, 1 because I know I have to.
Right.
But when you are alone with yourself
Mm.
and say, all right, I'm going to take the world on this journey with me right now, what I'm doing. And then you give your own self that action goal and say, all right, this is going to be the authentic me. And you end up editing yourself. I can tell you how many videos I've got of myself saying some stuff and I'm like, no, I don't sound good. I don't sound hood enough. I don't sound DC enough.
Yeah, buddy.
I've been told that all my life. Man, you ain't from DC. You ain't from here. You ain't this because of the way you talk.
I'm very proud of my son, Jordan. Jordan has been developing this YouTube channel called Mangwell Jordan. He's close to 10,000 subscribers on his YouTube.
That's awesome.
We got 5.
Like he's doing his, I'm sure you guys are gonna grow up. You guys are gonna do just fine.
We got the faith to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Jordan is something because he hasn't always been like comfortable in social situations, but yet for some reason he comes alive in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Do you know? And it's just like, and he has this conversation, and he's really engaged. There's an art to that.
It is.
So for some people, they just have it or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us, we also just need, and for us that don't, or those that have potential, we just got to work at it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it has to do with like you said, our confidence in what we're willing to put out there. You ever look at all these countless videos and you're looking at them on, Facebook and Instagram, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person did that.
Yeah.
Like, and daggone well that could have been you, because you know what, when we're in each other's circle,
Yeah.
we are clowns.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are complete and utter clowns.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yep.
I mean, almost anything goes.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. And we touched on a little earlier about being persistent and
Yes.
being patient.
Yes.
You know, when you are a person like us, I think everyone in this room has worn different hats.
Quite a few.
Quite a few hats.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I'm so glad I survived all the characters in my life, honey. And I'm talking about myself.
That's real.
All of them that I've played, honey.
That's real. That's real.
Is there one time of your life or one particular hat that stood out and maybe propelled you to do
Easy.
what you're doing? Tell us about it.
I'm a mom.
Okay.
I am fulfilled. I've got 3 Oscars on my wall.
What?
Named Dominique, Jordan, and Justice.
Ew.
They are just simply amazing. I've actually held an Oscar in my hand
There you
once.
go. That's
a
cool.
picture of it on Instagram.
That's cool.
Go look at it.
Okay.
And that reminded me of my sons, because that is the role. That's the role that either can make you or break you.
Yeah.
There's your opportunity when you get a call and a duty to lead and to guide someone's life who's in your hands. That's the highest calling of service, honey.
Come on.
Wow.
You know, that is the highest calling of all service and
Shout out
duty.
mamas and pops.
I'm the only
When
non-parent.
you do that role well, all the other roles come easy. And even some of the ones you think that are real difficult, you really did not do your
Interesting.
job as a parent. Sorry.
So being a parent kind of made you fearless.
Because you are not only you're wearing the hat of not only caring for yourself, but you're caring for others.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They are my neighbors.
Mindset.
My sons are my neighbors. They're my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once you learn the art of taking care of your family and being at home and doing that role,
Yeah.
and while you're balancing out everything else, nothing but net.
Ooh.
The rest of the
Okay.
way.
Okay. So being a parent kind of made you fearless.
It did.
Mm.
It did, because I raised 3 men too, but I raised 3 men.
Ooh.
And not just any men.
Okay.
3 amazing, beautiful men
Okay.
who are multicultural. And I'm very proud of that.
That's cool.
I feel like I adore the crown.
There you go. Okay, mama.
You know, and I adore a crown that many other moms around the world are adorning. You know, and if we can gather all that energy into a room, I'm all for that. I'm all for that meetup.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Yeah.
You know, because then you can look in the mirror and know that if you're at peace within, everything else is going to be okay. You know, as long as you make your mind up that everything is going to be okay, it will be. It's this hole that you sink deeper down when you are not okay and when you do not feel like you're enough. It's this gaping hole and you keep sliding and sliding and sliding. But there's a remedy for that. There's lots of remedies for that. It's called exercise. It's called drinking water. It's called, taking care of yourself. Breathe. Meditation. You know what I mean? Reading something of, positive every day. It's affirmations. Being grateful for what's in front of you. Even if the situation is less than perfect. We all have gone through our tribulations. We all have carried our crosses or our stakes or whatever you think, whatever you believe it to be.
Words of word.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Look. That's a
there
bar.
are people who have rose from their hell. And I'm one of those people. And it wasn't an easy road, but it was a worth it road. And you know what? And I'm proud to see my work doing its thing.
When do you think you realized you were creative?
So that was where my so to tag along. Can I tag along on that? So if that's the start of it, I also want to couple that with, does your art reflect more of that pain or more of like the positivity that you see what I'm saying? Like
Okay, that's a good question. Oh my goodness, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me take a sip.
What is this one? Because it smells good.
Cabernet. It's a Cabernet.
Ooh.
Okay. Art was my savior.
Okay.
As a little girl and as a child, you know, I had very creative parents. Both of my parents were from Puerto Rico.
Cool.
My father's side of the family is from Spain.
Okay.
And so I'm from first generation Spaniards on my dad's side.
I am, mommy.
So there's this history. I have a very extensive history, but the extensive history came from my high school years. I've always been into art, but high school was where it was born. I had an amazing art teacher who just taught me how to. She was very patient with me. It was just engrossed. I learned how to make my own frames and stretch my own canvas, and you know, it was very raw. This was a high school in Pittsburgh that's no longer around. It's called Shenley High School.
Okay.
Andy Warhol, the famous Andy Warhol, used to go to that high school.
Oh,
That was
cool.
where he graduated. So the art classes that I got there were just amazing. I don't believe anybody has what I had, the gift that I got out of that school, because even the teacher, down to the teacher, it was like she was an angel, an angel to many, and especially in a predominantly black school. You know what I mean? And you and I have something in common.
Okay.
We also were a magnet program and a performance arts program.
There you go.
And the Pittsburgh Ballet students all went to my high school.
There you go.
So that made up for like the 10, 20%, you know, the 20, the white folks.
Yeah.
But we all jammed together.
Yeah.
It was it was like fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my high school was like fame. For
Okay,
real.
that's dope.
It was like,
I love
seriously,
fame.
like our theater program. So like, I was like engrossed. I mean, that's where it all happened. It all woke up for me.
Yeah.
And I was just, I says, I wanted to explore it all. So I did the acting, I did the dancing, I did the singing, I did the everything. You know, I just engrossed myself in all these different things. And then painting was something that came out very personally. You know, it was, I've had exes who've broken canvases of mine.
Oh.
You know, paintings that I've done and I worked on. You know, so I went through some turmoil there.
Yeah,
That was
I know,
like, to me though, there was like that mark. You ever have that mark that hits you and you're like, But let me not take it as a direct hit.
Yeah.
It's actually guiding me to where I'm getting ready to go, even though this might hurt.
Yeah, so it's more of a pivot, like
Like right,
yeah,
like in the ring.
Yeah.
And then like I maneuvered into my, you know, early in my 30s is when I really picked up the canvas again. I had a very long-winded hiatus from it, and then got into, I was in my marriage at that time, and that was tough for me. But what my husband taught me at that time was that he believed in me and my artistry. Matter of fact, he was the one who bought me my canvases, all of my easels, my brushes. So you know, when somebody, even though we're no longer together, but we're cool, he was able to, you know, he put that gift in front of my face for me to continue that journey. So from 2003 up until this point, I haven't stopped.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
Do you know what I mean? So it's been a journey. My artistic career has been that long. And now I am, I've got regular, you know, people who buy my things. I have collectors. I've got shows. I've got a wall in here at the Metropolitan at the 9. You know, I have all my original artwork is even in my room that I created in that space. The fact that I can create what I want.
Yeah.
You know?
That's pretty fly.
Instead of having to go and just buy what I want, I can paint it.
Yeah.
Much like your massage.
It's an energetic flow.
It's an energetic
All of it is.
Do you think that comes from the same pop almost? Like,
Yes,
you know,
and
when you get that
especially
creative
more
process,
so, especially more so, because here's where I'm seeing the fact that I do my the massage stuff. I take a lot of that energy from others, and what I'm feeling, and sometimes that's the only way I can make sense of it.
Yeah.
Because it was given to me, so I'm making peace with it, and I'm throwing it out here in the universe and making it beautiful.
Yeah.
Again.
Absolutely.
Through art.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
100%.
I guess that's why my pieces have become really colorful. And there was a period though after my mom's passing, where she, where my art became a little bit more on the darker side. I started going inward.
Yeah.
When you suffer loss, and especially somebody very close to you, you start going inward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was going inward real bad.
Yeah.
I gained the most weight in my life at one point. I went and, it was like I was I was getting really bad anxiety.
Yeah.
I couldn't, I was having problems with sleeping, and then I felt, then it just hit me, and it was just like, girl, I felt like I heard my mother.
Yeah.
My mother Carmen, by the way. I heard the God of Carmen say, girl, I didn't raise no wimps. You get up and you keep that moving.
Yeah.
And one day I just stopped. I stopped complaining. I stopped feeling sorry. I stopped feeling like, I just stopped and just started to take care of myself again.
I love that.
Because I have 3 sons. I still have a whole life to live. I want to have maybe I'll have a grandbaby one day. I'm going to be the coolest grandmother in the world. I mean, you're looking at her.
Yeah.
I'm not even her yet, but I can look back on this video and say, yes, I am the coolest grandmother in the world. I was big.
For the people that hear this, what do you do on your days that, let's say, you aren't feeling your best? How do you retract and say, you know what?
I get a massage.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I get somebody else's hands.
And that picks you up.
It does. There's a tender exchange energetically when someone touches you. It's even when Jesus touched the man and told him to get up. It was just that one touch, that instant heal, and he got up and took his mat and walked.
Yeah.
There's something very healing and mystical about what that is, and there's not a lot of people that are very channeled in that degree, but for somebody like me, that's what I channel.
Yeah.
It's coming through me to them.
I
I have
noticed-
that energy.
Yeah.
You want to renew yourself? You come to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what I do best.
Yeah.
I'm like a coach, like you.
Absolutely.
When you're like in there, you give it energy.
Yeah.
Look, you kicked my ass, but you said, no, you're going to keep going, girl. And I was just like, yes.
So, but talking about touch, I noticed about 3 years ago the power of a hug. A good hug.
I hug all my clients, too.
A good hug.
Good
You know what I'm
hug.
saying?
Yeah.
I think all the way up until
Love
about
it.
3 years ago. And the first person I did this hug with was my mom. And she was leaving out something, and I just hugged her. She was like, give me a hug. And we gave her a hug. But I realized I did a real hug. It was almost like my heart touched her heart. It was just like I could breathe her in. I was like, oh, wow, that's a good hug. I've never hugged anybody like that. You always give the ass hug, a little hug. And I've never hugged before. And then I was a hug guy after that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm a hugger. And to understand that power, that energy, almost that wave of energy that you can transfer from one human body to another, when you get a genuine hug or a genuine touch, a massage, I can definitely agree with that, because I've been hell of a massage myself.
All right.
I was told.
That's how you got another one on the way, player.
But and I, with my current girlfriend, she's just like, oh, let me do it. And I'm like, you know what? No, it's something for me. It's something right. I feel good about it. Good. You get in there.
Yeah.
Good. It's like,
you look like
you want to be touched.
you look like you massage like an R&B song. Is what you look.
Yeah, get that
I can actually do a really good R&B massage.
See what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie.
Do you have music on, or is it just?
I do. Yes. It's a very
go-to
music is
Set the
everything.
vibes.
It's everything. Oh yeah. Between that, you want to get that. Music is it's the highest frequency.
Yeah.
Because it's the one frequency that unites us all. So yes, in the background is this beautiful, just, I go from classical to the spiritual new age, like Anya, sounds of it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, when I get into some of the classical's been playing a lot more here at the times that I've been massaging folks here, and I'm thinking, okay, I am at the 9. Makes sense, but then it makes me feel like I'm writing symphonies on everybody's soul. Like I love the way the classical and me flow.
Yeah.
Classical music and me flow beautifully. It's like I feel like I've been there before.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
So this is the coolest thing. So just segueing right off of been there before is all of a sudden, like yesterday, I was thinking about like when people talk about like, man, you've been here before. I know you've been here before. You just really talk like somebody I know. Do I know you? And I'm like, no, because you just had your 71st birthday and I just turned 23. Never seen you before. You're not my granddad, right? All right, cool. Well, if you're not, then no, I don't know you. And it's like I feel like when people pass away, their energy is like shot somewhere to somebody who needs it. Like it's almost like there's a void for like somebody else coming up, and then like that energy goes boom, and then all of a sudden it's a renew. And I
dreamed of that.
See what I'm talking about? See stuff
I
like
had
that.
a dream of that.
See what I'm talking about? Stuff like that. Like the energy has to go somewhere, and it has to like go into a place. Like when I tell you the feeling I had when I got called out last week, like all over my body, just boom, 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 cold, chills, warm. And then all of a sudden, perspective changed. I had a new opinion on different things, and I didn't want to do some of the things that I was doing before. Like I had goals and like things like that I thought that I really, really wanted, and I'm talking about in maybe a 5-second difference. None of that mattered. Literally none of it. And the moment like when Nipsey passed, right? So I feel like he was such a big angel for a lot of people that he just
felt so random to me.
Exactly.
First of all, that just really felt random to me. That doesn't even, that almost is like, it almost feels like that was his destiny. There was some sort, and you know what I mean? And some people are just put on the spot, and then all of a sudden it spurs this next conversation.
Exactly.
Do you feel me?
So that's my point, because I feel like when he was gone, it burst. His energy, his drive, his focus, his love burst, and it just started dropping into. And I'm talking about like, that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, none of this, like none of the stuff that I was thinking about, or like this is like it just in 5 seconds it was just like boom, and like so I feel like so when some people pass and like people go, I feel like I know you, and it's like. Yeah, like when people that, I know sort of around here who like remember my grandparents or something, they're just like, yo, you got Maxine dripped all over you. And I'm like, yeah, for sure, Yeah, that's tough.
I love her.
Yeah. But like, no, that was tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
I would love to meet her one day. I'm serious. Like, she would just be a really cool person just to get to know. Like, she's just, I don't know. I've always liked everything that she's in, and you always feel like you could just let loose with Lauren.
Well, she always seemed real down to earth, like just like an actual person. So that, like, like in all of her roles, like she never had to like do anything like weird or extra to be like get the message across. She was just like, yo, like boom, and it was like, oh, that's cool. So I've always liked her a lot.
Shout out to you.
But yeah, so like when it comes to,
we need to get Lauren up on Live 216.
We need to get
as soon, look,
Yeah, Lauren,
as soon as she's in the city.
I can do that.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
Yeah, as soon as she's in the city, we just give her a call. Okay, so switching gears. First, I do have a question. Would you rather see the greatest thing you've ever seen or hear the greatest thing you've ever heard?
Wait a minute. Say it again.
Would you rather see the greatest thing you've ever seen or hear the greatest thing you've ever heard?
I hear a lot of good things, so
Yeah.
I guess I'm going for the C.
You're going to see.
Really? Interesting.
I mean, that's
I hear a lot of things.
Sure, but that doesn't mean it's the greatest thing you've ever heard.
It's not.
So here, I'll give you some.
I can hear what you're saying.
So I'll give you some backdrop. Like,
But maybe. Hold on.
yeah,
Hold on. Just.
yeah,
Let
let it fest.
I like that because
let it fester.
honestly, I think I may want to really hear the greatest thing.
The greatest
Maybe
thing.
the greatest thing that might just spark
Yeah. Yeah.
the aha.
Mm-hmm.
Aha. Oprah always talks about the aha moment. Do you remember on her own show talking about the aha moments?
So, yeah.
Just to ride on that, the greatest thing to date that I've heard was a segment of Martin Luther King's speech about manhood.
Please tell.
And I don't want to even do. I mean, in my mind, while y'all were talking about this, I said, "Ron, don't even say it because you're not going to be able to quote him correctly." But he said something in the aspect of manhood where it was, "Don't let anybody take your manhood." Oh my God, I wish I could pull that up. The vocal on what he said. He looked around the room at night and he was talking about, he was talking to a group of people, and he said that I may not. It was right before I'm going to the mountaintop. He was talking about that, and he was kind of foreshadowing, foreseeing his own death. Seeing that with time of the martyrs, so to speak. And he talked about manhood. And I just implore you both to research that, and find that YouTube video. And it's about 3 minutes long. It's not going to take up a lot of time. And it's a 3-minute segment. And I wrote it down. And I remember this time. I wrote this down. And I wrote it word for word. And I'm kicking myself because I can't do it justice and even quote it. But he talked about manhood. And to this date, it was the most pivotal moment in my life as far as like hearing something. And I said, wow. Like, my whole mood and my whole outlook on things. I used to be wild. I typical guy, teen, back in the day and everything. Even all the way up until my early or late 20s.
Should we all talk about our wild things?
You know what I'm saying? That's another show.
It's coming.
That's another show.
It's coming.
But the way he expressed this thing. About manhood. It's you can't even put it into words how it affects.
So it's about celebrating ourselves, or acknowledging who we are.
That would be too bleak. That would be too shallow to even put it right there. Yeah, that's something. That's big. That's big in itself. But the way I can't even speak on it because I don't know what he said verbatim.
Yeah.
I can't express to you what that meant. Just look it up.
Yeah,
Martin
for sure.
Luther King's speech on manhood.
So this is how it took so when I was thinking about it, I think about like how I feel when I see beauty, right? And like your heart sort of gets warm, you get all fluttery, and it's like, oh, I'm trying, I want to flirt a little bit, I'm trying to do my thing, right? So then you see the most beautiful, you see the most beautiful person you've ever seen, right? Something like that, and like you're like, dang, this is crazy, son. You feel me? And it's like, if there's something more beautiful than that, so that if that's where I'm drawing my, like comparison from, if there's something more beautiful than that, that would be really dope. But the way a certain song makes me feel,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I got
so
many of those.
so if there is a sound, a song, a thing, whatever that sounds better than that and is the greatest thing that I've ever heard, like that is far more than that, there's no way I could pass that up, because as beautiful as whatever it is, that's fleeting, right? Like, you can think, oh, I saw a mountaintop before. Like, even if you close your eyes, you can see, oh, I saw a mountaintop, that was beautiful. But if you think about your favorite song and how it makes you feel, your body will dance, your body will move,
Right.
your shoulders will move,
Isn't it
you'll get the
funny
chills.
how-
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that lasts a lot
Like,
longer
it does.
than the picture did for me, right?
Yeah.
So I have to say the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. I want to read the quotes.
Okay.
And you're probably correct because, I mean, now that I understand where you're coming from on that, me being into music and doing like my music show and like, even now, I didn't get the privilege of learning how to play an instrument, even though I've always wanted to. But I gave my sons that privilege, especially it really rubbed off on Jordan because he ended up, engaging more into the music and stuff and went through high school band, the whole nine, like boys band.
Yeah.
But me, like, I'm now starting to, I've been DJing. That's what I love about, DJing. And why I think a lot of people that are into DJing, and especially the way that that has, amassed over the years through electronic and, since the whole hip hop days and then through, electronic and everything else. It's just, it's this conversation of love that continues to just sit in your soul that you can't let go of. You know what I mean? That is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Music is the greatest thing I'll ever hear because it's beautiful and you can make your own sounds, and if you don't make your own sounds, somebody else will deliver those sounds to you, or you could just press a button and order it. Whatever you want, it's out there. It's just like, and that's what I love about it so much.
I can't believe I even said I would see the greatest thing. After listening to you both, like,
It's
that's not me.
I I've been able to give birth. That's beautiful.
That's a beautiful thing.
It's just, it is. It's just like, it's gross and beautiful at the same time. But it's awesome. It's like this whole, it's experience. I can't even explain. Talk about undone. You can be so undone in there where you're just so natural. Just giving birth to another human being.
That's actually pretty incredible when you think about it. Like when you get down to it, that's
right.
Kind of,
That whole This is it. This is what we were created to do.
So guys, I'm going to share with you the greatest thing.
You were created to pass that.
I'm going to share with you the greatest thing that I've ever heard.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, if you don't mind,
Welcome.
I'm going to say it in Martin Luther King's voice.
Welcome, community. This is Ron, the OG, giving you the greatest thing he's ever heard, baby. Yeah, baby.
I love it. All right. Martin Luther King.
On soul.
Also, all right. I said to a group last night, nobody else can do this for us. No document can do this for us, not even an Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. Nor can a Johnsonian Civil Rights Bill do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with the pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation.
All right, on God also.
Don't let anybody take your man.
No one.
Be proud of your heritage, as somebody said earlier tonight. We don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie one day. They couched it in language they made everything black and ugly, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. It's always something degrading and low sinister. Look at the word white. It's always something pure and high and clean. But I want to get that language right tonight. I want to get that language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. That goes to anybody.
Did you hear that?
That goes to anyone who's in your own race. But right now, okay.
I love it.
That one portion,
I got something to say about that after you finish this.
reach down into the inner resources of his own soul.
Inner resources
Of your own soul, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood, his own emancipation.
There are no rules. You make your rules.
You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody take your manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even with that being said, I can't even give it justice. You have to look at the video.
Yeah.
You
did a great job, though.
People who were in that audience that night had to have heard the greatest thing that they've ever heard at that moment.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody.
And think about what that sparked.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, give me
One
what
part of
just
my
happened.
journey-
Yeah, give me
part of my journey.
Uh-huh.
I used to live in Baltimore.
Okay. Good morning, Baltimore.
I went to Towson State University.
Hey, you said Towson?
Towson.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Okay. And DC.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I was in DC, me and my husband, we were able to enjoy a weekend with my family down there, and who live in the Baltimore area. But I'd never done. Every time that I've ever gone to DC, living near DC has always been going to a party.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's never like going and visiting the monuments and doing all that touristy stuff. So I said, hey, I've never really done the touristy stuff. You live somewhere, you never do the touristy stuff.
Facts.
Yeah.
Same thing with me with New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Been to New York a million times. I was born in New York. I have family who live in New York.
Mm-hmm.
What part of New York are you from?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I'm going to Brooklyn next month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go see my sister.
There you go.
My sister lives in Brooklyn. She actually has she has several businesses.
Okay.
And
Birds of a feather.
It's
She's-
Brooklyn
no,
in
she's-
the house.
Birds of a feather.
No, my sister's. She's like the Black Martha Stewart.
There you go.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie. She is bad.
Yeah.
She's a Black Puerto Rican
Yeah.
Martha Stewart,
I like it.
and she's in Brooklyn, New York. Look
That's
her
cool.
up. She can do anything.
That's cool.
Literally, she
cool.
is bad.
Yeah.
Shout out Rosemary Garcia. I see you.
Aye.
But yeah, no, it's just one of those things. I go to New York, I never do the touristy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I really, in Brooklyn, it's just something, there's a museum I'm actually going to go into the Brooklyn Museum.
Mm-hmm.
There's an exhibit, the Frida Kahlo exhibit that's going to be there. She's one of my favorite artists and
Cool.
has been one of my inspirations. So that's why I'm going back and I'm going to go see her.
Cool.
But like, it's like that energy. Like I connect with Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Through my mother.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was a New Yorican.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Think
yeah.
about being in New York City
Mm-hmm.
in the 50s and 60s,
Mm-hmm.
70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were there till 75, 76.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 73.
Mm-hmm.
Paint a picture for us of what Brooklyn was like in '76.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you because I was young. But
Yeah.
I mean, New York in general was, you had the disco era.
Yeah.
I was born in the disco era.
That's fire.
So
I
it was
always
just
wanted
like,
to go
it
to
was,
disco.
it's nice, but I kind of feel that energy coming back. And I
Yeah.
feel like I'm a part of that.
Yeah.
That new energy that's moving in to get people to move their bodies and dance again
We're
because,
gonna throw a disco.
seriously, like I got some serious disco house. You'll lose your mind.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose your mind. Let me educate you a little bit. Let me give you a little bit of Lolo.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
But I'm serious. Like that energy is like moving through me too. Because that was a sexy time, but there was a lot of they were going through the same stuff we're going through now. There was a high drug epidemic. There were things happening in New York City at that time between like the Bronx and Brooklyn and the Italians versus this. There's always this conflict.
Mm-hmm.
But the conflict is the self.
Mm.
The self, you can tell the self that you have no conflict. You feel me on that?
You could.
And you can live with yourself not having conflict,
Mhm.
but having ease and having peace.
Happiness is a
That's
choice.
why I say happiness is, they come back,
Mhm.
happiness is a choice. How do you get there? I'll tell you what, I'm a big believer in meditation. I meditate for 20 minutes. That's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning. You know, I say, I thank God. You know what I mean? I name things that I'm grateful for, you know, the morning, and then I go right into my meditation. When I do that, that sets me up for the rest of the day.
Are you mobile? Are you mobile when you meditate, or are you kind of just in your room and just?
No, I do. I have I'm stationary. Okay. I have a space that I just.
Can you meditate being mobile? Is that a thing?
Yeah. I can't wait to go up to the rooftop this year in Azure.
Mm-hmm.
There might be times you might see me up there just in deep meditation. Even with the crowd, I can shut it down. Meditation isn't going to sleep. Meditation is a silencing of it's getting back in control and, you know, controlling your thoughts with a mantra. You know what I mean? Where even though you have all of this stuff that's presently happening around you, you're still at peace and at one with yourself. You are there and connecting with the highest power, which is thyself.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Right?
Yeah,
I am. Everything but we need to also control that we can still exist amongst all of this around us, but still bring peace into our awareness and being aware and present. I think that's the one thing I love, and that I love about practicing that daily is I believe that it is it's just even a self-healer, because a lot of us think too damn much. We're too much in our own way, and it's no good. So you got to get, you know, if you're not praying, meditate. Do something to quiet the mind and your thoughts. Get back into focus. Quit making excuses. Go see Keon for a daggone class and kick your ass up in the shade. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want to talk about some stuff, you got us. You know, it's just all of us. You know, it's just everything is moving. You know, we're all connected. We all must not forget that.
I agree.
You know, when I feel like when I look at you, it's different from other people that might look at other people. When I look at you, I see God. I see God. I see myself. I see myself. I see what I'm attracting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, these mirrors.
Absolutely.
I actually, before my mother passed away, I actually had this exhibit, my very first my solo art exhibit. I worked for 6 months straight, tirelessly, in and out of the studio. I actually got a studio down at the 78th Street studio in order to do this. I knew what my purpose was for. My purpose was to get a solo exhibit before she passed on. My mother always told me that I was an artist. I never acknowledged it. But I had my first solo art exhibit was for her, for myself and for her, in honor of her, and to come out of the closet, so to speak, and acknowledge that I am an artist. Yeah. Wow. And that was only a few years ago. Because when you're going on the journey, people are too quick, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. No, you fucking are. You want a title. Work. Work. Work on you. Work on your craft. So you never have to work on anything that's authentic.
Absolutely.
Before you
feel me on that?
Absolutely.
Before you realized you were an artist, what held you back from? I mean, did you not want to accept that?
Because when you're as colorful as we are, it's hard. You know, there's a certain journey into that. Like I mean, creatively, I felt like I was still a baby learning. I was in school all those years. I was studying other people, You know, I was, I couldn't put myself into fancy art programs, you know what I mean? So everything that I learned on my own after picking up, you know, going through that hiatus from high school. Remember the story from high school? Then I didn't pick up anything really till I was my 30s. And then early 2033 up until now, I've been practicing for the big leagues.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the NFL player.
There you go.
All right, let's go to ASCO.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't just get accepted in the NFL. I had to work to get into the NFL.
Absolutely.
Do you feel what I'm saying?
Sure do.
I went from a child to Here I am.
You know they say overnight takes 10 years.
It takes.
Look, it
You know
does.
who said that? Do you want to know who said that?
Who's that?
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock?
Kid Rock
And
said that to me.
Oh, really? We are just all channeled in right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I spoke something that possibly was one of the greatest things that you've heard in a long time. From Kid Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I've
I'll
heard
never
it.
forget
I don't know where I heard
that.
that from, but it makes sense.
I heard it from Big Sean.
That was a good night.
Big Sean.
Big Sean.
I think it probably.
It took 10 years for me to be an overnight success. What you know about living check to check,
Yeah,
living check to check, living check to check. Come on, man.
What's up, Big Sean? That's where I heard it. I was like, I know I heard it. But yeah, it really does speak to people who, if you wake up one day and you say, you know what, I want to do this, you have a burning passion to do this, and
Yeah.
realize, all right, I'm an artist or a publicist, whatever you do, understand that there is some truth to that. There's a lot of weight and validity to that, saying overnight takes 10 years. Don't think it's going to be actually overnight.
Right.
You know, it's going to take a long process. It's gonna be some
Many
time.
nights.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get over some pitfalls and some hurdles, and any artists out there who we run into, and Lolo is one of them. But understand that your craft is not overnight. Like seriously, like one night you're just gonna make a page, an Instagram page, and you're gonna make
And if somebody does,
and if somebody does, then
and
you
it
are
was their
unfortunate
time.
for you.
It was their time. You gotta look at other.
But it's still been cultivating.
Right.
Nothing
It
comes from
has
nothing.
been
It's
cultivated. You know,
That's
something.
cultivated, exactly. Yes.
Right. There was some sort of inspired message
Yeah.
put in that person, and then they created this thing.
Yeah.
We're all traveling our own journey. That's the thing. Even when you see somebody winning, you need to applaud their winning.
absolutely.
It's like applauding your own winning. You know, when
Yeah.
you're seeing those pictures pop up, that should be you saying, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome."
That is so awesome.
That's a reflection of me. That could be me too.
I think
You
we
see
lose
what I'm
sight of
saying?
For sure.
I think we lose sight of the journey in favor of the actual end result.
So here,
You know,
Yeah.
and with social media,
Yeah.
especially, you look at people, and they are basically, they don't take you through the journey.
yeah.
And people don't realize there's a journey. There's a long journey. It took some time when you were broke. It took some time
Yeah.
when you were living with your mom. It
Yeah.
took some time when you were really unsure about yourself. And you had to build that up. And people lose sight of that. And I think there's some beauty in the journey of it.
So
Yeah.
so
There's
let
a lot of beauty in that.
so
That's the story.
so what often happens is we say the journey, right? But we often don't define it. Okay, so like what I want to say to that is do that. But what the journey looks like is every time you have that thing where you're like, oh, I really love this, do that, right? And every time you put out oh, I love that, and you put out another, I love that, or ooh, and you put that out, or
love that.
dang,
I love that.
and you keep like
Yeah.
every time it happens, you just produce it. As you keep putting that out, what happens is you keep getting closer and closer and closer to your thing, the thing that you want the baddest, the thing that you've been sort of yearning for.
Did
It
you
comes
hear
out in
that
those.
anywhere?
No,
about the little thing that you're talking about.
No.
You didn't hear that anywhere?
no, it just can't like.
All right, here's another one. In 2008, I read the book The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And told it. I think it was a video or something. And it said exactly that.
Mm.
It said, go with your first inkling.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that comes into your mind, it may not be the last, it may not be the thing that's going to get you there, but do it. And that's what prompted me to wear a lot of hats.
Mm-hmm.
Modeling. Okay, I'm going to go with that.
Mm-hmm.
A rapper, a musician. I'm going to go with that. And, but the thing is, the secret, I think, is to do it with 100%.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, do it with
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
And then, you know what? People are going to be, you're going to get a lot of people in your life who are going to say, can you make up your mind?
Yeah.
You know what? Not right now. I'm not
Here's the kicker part. I did not set my life to be a massage therapist.
There you go.
Those things, that gift was given to me. It was presented to me, and I told you my little story. But anyway, we have, you know, it's those chance encounters with, you know, a person or a situation that just kind of thrusts you forward into something that you didn't even know that you had in you until it was presented to you.
Yeah.
And that was one of those moments for me.
Yeah.
And it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? I've been doing this for 20
Look,
years. These hands. What is going on?
Look, when you're doing it, when you're doing
Do
it,
you know how many people?
Salt hands.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I'm moisturized. I do
Yeah.
my thing all
Yeah.
the time. You cannot, even after going through divorces, you know, going through having kids or whatever. I never neglected my own needs. You know what I mean? Even now, being 46, and now, you know, I'm doing my thing. You know, it's just like now I got my own skincare line.
Absolutely. There you go. Hey.
Show them off.
Look at it.
Salt hands.
Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Look at that. Look what manifested. After doing my aesthetics, becoming an advanced esthetician, understanding different skin types, understanding what people want in their products versus what they don't want in their products. You know what?
So this part is your homework.
And not even just that. Yeah, there's all kinds. You know, this is listen.
You just don't put a lotion and then put your England.
No,
you
but
gotta
of
find out
course, you know, I'm from a very beauty focused family. Like I was raised with all women. Talking about my mom, and she had 4 girls. That's 5 women in the house. Okay, and my oldest sister, when I talked about Rosemary in her day, she was a model. She did all kinds of stuff. She was she's a makeup artist. She has her own makeup line.
Hey, oh.
Okay, actually, she had the first. She was the first Latin woman, Puerto Rican woman, to have her own line in Macy's in New York and across Macy's stores across this country called Bonita Cosmetics, and now it's starting to launch. So I'm just saying, yeah. And I've done, you know, I'm serious. Like she's you know, and nobody knew that because back then there was no internet back then.
Yeah.
You know, we had Sky Pagers and,
That's
you know,
it.
things
Yeah.
that, internet wasn't around for folks, you know what I mean? But at some point, you know, that just kind of fizzled away, things went, but she's relaunching again because, you know, those dreams didn't die. And even she was able to say, I want to come back out with this because I'm like, you should, because it's a really great product system.
Yep.
She had, the thing about Latin women is we are all colors.
Hey, oh.
All of them. I mean, all Latin women. We are from the light. We can be the whitest of whites, like my mother was. My mother had snow white skin and dark hair, dark eyes, like literally Snow White. And then my, you know, but then my father's side, my Spanish side, he was dark. You know what I mean? A dark, like islandy Spaniard. That was my father. But all skin tones, all skin lines, from the lightest of shades to the darkest of darks, because we come in all colors.
Absolutely.
Latin men and women come in all colors.
Facts.
That's why I couldn't understand the level even of some racism that I even experienced in my own family. Because I would look at those little hypocrites and I'm like, oh hell no. You know what I'm saying? Do you even know who you are? Get out of here and quit trying to whiten yourself to fit in, honey. That's not happening. You need to learn to celebrate who you are.
Yeah.
I
Colorism's
had
real.
red meat before. Red raw meat.
Yeah.
This is the thing in Philadelphia. It was a lot. It's within your own community, within your own race.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
colorism.
racism.
Yeah, colorism.
Yeah, I was what? I was taking some of that.
Yeah.
Taking it back. But I want to ask you a personal question.
Yes.
All right, here it comes.
Oh my.
This could be anything.
That's not crazy.
Oh, all right.
Is there one particular thing that gives you the most gratification out of your art, your creation? Is it your massage? Is it your picture? It's because I ask it because it's to an artist. I think that's a very personal question because it's like saying which one of your children is your favorite.
Yeah.
Which one of your crafts is your favorite?
It's that's the thing. It just comes through me. I think at the time that I do it, it's my favorite.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I live presently with all my gifts, and however way I do it, you know, in that moment is where is the cause of celebration. You know, that's just how I've come to understand and operate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And during that time, is it a block where almost like, okay, I can only focus on
Yes, I have.
massage because I can't even paint right now because I'm so into
No,
this.
you know what? Massage, hold on. That's the thing. My business, thankfully, this is the thing that's been able to carry all my other stuff that I do.
Okay.
Whether music, all my music, and like all of my other creative pursuits. This is my business.
Wait a minute, so you sing too?
No, I don't. I mean, I
Uh-oh.
can carry a tune here and there, but no, I do not call myself a singer. The one thing I don't, although, you know, I don't mind putting my voice on things.
Okay, so to wrap this up, I have
Yes.
one question. Here we go.
Okay.
So what I want you to do, or one little activity. What I want you to
We're
do.
almost done already?
Oh yeah, we
We
smoked.
just sat down.
I know we smoked that, but I want you to close your eyes, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, when you close your eyes, I want you to imagine the person you're telling to live their truth, right? What they look like, how old they are, the gender, the location, where are you, and then why them. We'll give you like 10 seconds. I need all of that.
Oh,
It's
I
a,
didn't tell you.
yeah. So it's a specific person, right?
Okay,
So
say the question again.
so I find this very interesting. So right, you are telling this person to live their truth, the message to live your truth and be exactly who you are. Who are you talking to? Their gender, their ethnicity, like where you are. It's one person because you're looking right at them.
Okay, I got it.
You're talking to them. Okay.
Do I have my eyes closed?
Nope, you can open when you're ready. There you go. Lolo, you can go first.
Why me?
Because I didn't want you to switch.
Okay. Okay, Russell Simmons.
Cool.
Because I love the way that he's flowing right now and how he's trying to connect with the world through meditation, and especially getting us all people of color on board to start relaxing our minds and our spirits. And I think I would want to tell him that I know he gets a little distracted by some of the people he invites on to ask questions. I would hope that he would just guide those people to ask the right questions. You know what I mean? So that they are on board to getting healed, and talk a little bit more about the healing process, because that's what we all need, you know, and I think that's where that's where, because you get some people who come on his live boards and they'll be like, oh, can I get on your record label? And or are you taking switches? It's like, this dude's like literally talking to you and he's trying to teach you how to meditate.
Yeah.
Shut up and meditate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Take
Yeah.
what he's saying. You know, like this is spiritual food right now. Listen to the spiritual food of your brothers and sisters all around you. You know, stop thinking that you can't be taught. I would talk to any person out here and tell them that.
You sitting with Russell Simmons, you need to.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not just talking about. I'm away from Russell right now because he's my dude. Like,
Okay.
I love his energy. I like what he's trying to do.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, there needs to be a guidance toward, like, these individuals need to start paying attention in the mirror
Yes.
Yeah.
and honoring themselves and being patient with themselves and accepting who they are, you know, and being enough in that. So if I had to really talk to anybody, I'd be talking to you and me.
What you got?
And we are one, us.
All right, I gotta come into this and
Wow, that was a really like deep question, dude. Like,
that is a very deep question.
you know, you don't understand like when what you're getting ready to be thrown into it. So it's like, this is good exercise. I like this exercise.
Thank you.
Okay.
Brother.
I'm gonna tell myself that.
There we see. Come on, play the game. Come on.
All right.
Come on.
I'm gonna tell myself that.
Come on.
There must be some self-reflection you continue to seek in yourself.
I was initially gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna keep you that. I'm just gonna tell myself that.
Yeah.
I had someone else in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
but at this stage in my life,
Yeah.
I recognize the importance of the fragility of life. It's
Yeah.
just so every day you can't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing people pass early and Nipsey Hussle, and, you know, how many people he's touched, and just seeing everyone else doing their things, their crafts, it made me realize that you know, you only have one life to live, and that sounds cliche, but it's very real. You have one life to live, and who you affect, who you touch in that lifetime, in that span, can go a long way to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone dies.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone passes on. But not everyone leaves something so big and like
Mm-hmm.
monumental in someone else's life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to not be afraid of that light, like that light within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace that light, because it's not the light, it's not failure that you're afraid of, but it's actually the light within you. I feel like you are afraid to shine.
Talk to yourself. Come on now, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, shine.
Shine. Yeah.
I love that
You
we're
know
having this
you-
conversation. This is so awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Breathe, baby. Yeah.
But really,
Yeah.
and that's who I would say it to. And I'm glad that you chose me second, because I was going to say someone else.
It's an intuition, baby.
But I do think I'm at a stage. I'm old in my age. I'm not old, but people, because you're old, and you kind of get to that point where
Because
you're in
you
your life
have an
and you start to-
arbitrary idea of where you should have made it versus where you're at.
Girl,
You need to let
please.
that go.
Girl,
Let
please.
that go, honey. Let that go. Look at me. Look at your girl here. I'm fabulous. I'm just
Hey.
getting started. I'm 46.
And you know what? And that's the good thing. And that's what makes me feel. That's what makes me
Right?
feel good about it, because it's just like, you know what? If I would have already
We're
been
gonna
there,
have so much fun.
if I would have already been there in my life, then right now I'd be almost like at the tail end. I don't know, at the tail end or something,
Yeah.
but like I've already been it. I feel good because
Yeah.
I'm just starting.
Yeah.
You're just starting.
Welcome to the
You're
party.
a baby
Yeah.
to what you perceive in your life as being your achievement and your
Yeah.
successes and how the people you're gonna touch. You are at the baby stages.
Mm-hmm.
You are Michael Jordan in college when he was just cut from high school basketball, and then he realized he was about to become a
Yeah.
star when he just said, you know what, I don't care what everyone else says. I'm too small. I can't play. I can't do this without
Mm.
something.
Right, I met
Now I'm
Michael
going to
Jordan.
step out.
Yeah.
What?
I met Michael Jordan.
See?
We had a nice conversation
See,
about that.
and then went full goat. So
Then we'll go.
full goat. So
Then we'll go. Go. Who are you?
oh, who was I talking to?
Oh, he thought he was getting.
Hey, look, I was about to skate. I was about
Oh, that is so good. That was good. You did good.
I was definitely about to ski daddle.
Okay.
I was talking to my actual like cohort of like my brothers and like friends who I've known most of my adult life, right? So like I thought I was talking to one brother, and then like when I was doing, because I did this exercise like earlier, it was like I thought I was talking to one brother, and then I was talking to two, and then when I started talking to those two, I started talking to three of them, and then those three turned into the 8 of us, and like as I was saying it, it was validating because I was saying it to them, and I know they couldn't hear me like how we hear each other right now, and it's because I never know if I'm saying it when they're ready to receive it. So I said it to whoever they're looking for, right? So whoever, because we all talk about like, oh, we're not at the level we want to be. So I know everyone's climbing, which means that I know there's room for growth. So I was talking to that growth in all of them, right? So whoever they're working towards or who they're trying to, like that level to get to, it was talking to them like, live your truth, but I wasn't on the outside looking at them talking to them. It was we're in the same room and like these words are sort of just surrounding us kind of thing. And like for me, that was me talking to all of our growth because it has to happen. We can't fake the funk anymore. I've already transitioned from fighting those insecurities. I can't go back because I know too much now. So going backwards would be obnoxious. It would be like
I know too much.
It's willful ignorance, and I can't do that. So I was talking to the growth of whatever they're seeking, because I don't know what it looks like for everybody. Like I don't know what their battle is for everybody. Like I mean, I know a little bit because we're family, but that thing, like the one I couldn't articulate, I was talking to that. Like, chop that up, spit it out. So woo! All right. Thank you. This has been Live 216.
This was awesome.
Live 216.
With the OG, Inky, and Lolo! Ow! Yeah.
So please tune in next week or next Sunday.
Well, Sunday.
This Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
This Sunday, actually. Yeah.
We'll be back. Yep. Love y'all.
Love you.
Peace.